Are you looking to cultivate some awesome IT skills? Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about one thing that you need, your home lab. Let's get started. So as I said in our intro, we're looking at building a home lab today. But why? Well, like learning anything, any new skill, you need to be able to take what you're learning and apply it. I don't know about you, but I learn by doing. If I want to learn something, I need to actually do it. It doesn't help if someone just tells me or if I just read it in a book. I need to actually do it in order to really take it in and understand what I'm doing. And you can do everything in a home lab. You're not limited except by maybe what hardware you've got, but your imagination can really let you go crazy on what you can do. You can literally build out entire companies, entire virtual stacks of equipment, and be able to leverage those things to build out and learn the necessary skills that you need that you can apply into your professional job, next job that you're looking at getting. So let's take a look at a few important considerations here. First, we need to take in consideration our space. What space do you have set aside? Maybe you have a corner, maybe you have a whole room. Whatever space you have that you want to invest in to build this lab, make it fit that space. Don't build the space around it. You know what you have right now. If it's a corner of your desk, that's great. You don't need much space at all to get started. The same goes with budget. How much do you want to spend? Do you want to invest $5,000, $10,000 or $5 or $10? No matter what your budget is, figure out what you want to spend and stick to that. There's no reason to go into debt for this project at all. Take your time with it. There's nothing wrong with going slow and getting the equipment, the right equipment that you need and want. And the same thing goes with noise and power consumption. The more money you spend, if you get a bunch of very expensive servers, those things suck power like a giant diesel truck. You want something, and also create a ton of noise. You may want something very quiet, very small. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a lab. You are able to do just about whatever you want with it. And also consider things like maybe you have small children in your home, or maybe you have other needs like you're renting a place so you don't have a lot of power capabilities. You want something maybe small, quiet, that you can stuff in a corner. You don't need a bunch of cables going around. You just need enough to be able to throw up a few virtual machines and learn what you want to learn. There's nothing wrong with that, but take these things into consideration before moving forward. That way you have a plan of attack. So what do you need? Let's talk about hardware for a moment. Hardware is everywhere. Hardware is honestly, it's a fun aspect. You can go all out and buy enterprise class equipment. You can buy brand new stuff if you've got the budget for it and get really expensive servers, switches, firewalls, NAS and SAN devices, fiber channel, and the list goes on. But you don't have to. If you have a small budget, let's say you only want to spend a couple $100, you can totally do that. Just you look at the used market. If you have a university nearby, I highly recommend you check out the university stores. They usually have surplus equipment, whether it's desktops or actual servers, that you can procure very, very inexpensively. If you're like me and don't have a university surplus store, then you can use websites such as GovDeals, an auction site where you can find equipment for usually pretty inexpensively that local schools and government agencies are getting rid of in your area. And you can search, however far you want to see what equipment is available, if there is any. One great place that I get a lot of my equipment from, eBay. You can find just about anything you want off of eBay. The thing is, you've got to take some time and really look for those deals to find a good option that isn't going to hurt your wallet. Speaking of which, there's a fantastic tool. It's called LabGopher. Link in the description. LabGopher is a website. It allows you to find all these fabulous deals on used server equipment, whether it's Dell, HP, or Lenovo. You can find some fantastic deals. Like I'm looking at LabGopher right now. There are full-blown servers for $20. And here's one for $90. Here's one for $125 with shipping. So you can find equipment that's just a couple years old and be able to get that equipment and use for your lab. You also have other hardware options. If you've got the money, then there's a place called 45homelab.com. Again, link in the description. 45 Home Lab is, you can buy the HL15 case, you can buy a complete system board and everything. They use a super micro system board as the core, but it allows you a massive amount of storage capacity and really server capacity where you can run just about whatever you want on it, because they have multiple core options, a good Intel processor, and you can expand up to like 2 terabytes of memory in that thing. You can run anything and everything that you'd want on it. And you can set up either as a tower or have a rack. And that's the other thing. You can organize your equipment if you want. Like, for example, what I have is I've got a corner under my desk. That's my lab. And I've bought me a little StarTech 12U rack that I got off of Amazon for a couple $100 a few years back, and all my equipment sits in it. I can rack it and it keeps it all contained there, and that rack holds up my desk. If you don't have that, what if you have just a little tiny corner of your desk? Well, why not get yourself one of the mini Intel Nooks? There's several models to choose from. Or personally, what I like is on Amazon, you have AMD's version of the Nook. They're little teeny tiny computers, usually topping out around 35, 45 to 65 watts. They're fantastic because they're super quiet. They're very power efficient because they're using mobile processors instead of full desktop or server class equipment. And they'll have USB-C, which allows you to connect things like disk bays or just about anything you can plug in through those Thunderbolt ports. So feel free to use something like that, at least just getting started. And that only costs a couple $100 and you have a brand new lab. For me, I've got a mix. What I have is I've got a B-Link Sur 6 mini PC, and I use that as a Proxmox system. And then I also have a couple Supermicro servers that I bought off of eBay very inexpensively. And those things run my main home lab, and I can spin up just about anything I want in them. And that's the important thing. Next part. What about hypervisors? Well, there's a video that's linked, but check out that video where I talk about hypervisors and alternatives to VMware. There's a couple different hypervisors out there. Usually Proxmox or XCP&G are a couple of great options. There's also a few others like Overt and Hyper-V, but those are the two main hypervisors you'll probably run into or probably want to learn and use. Next, where do you get software? If you want to be a Linux guy, it's everywhere, right? Download Debian, Ubuntu, whatever version you want out there. But what about Windows? Just head over to the Windows Evaluation Center. You can download whatever Windows version you want, whether it's Server, SQL, Windows 11 Enterprise, and other Windows versions. They're all available. Again, link in the description below. And they give you about 6 months worth of usability until you have to reinstall them. But this is a home lab. What you're going to be doing is destroying it constantly and rebuilding it. That's half the fun of it. So again, let's go over some basics. Take a look at what space you have. Figure out how much you want to use for your home lab. Then, how much do you want to spend? And stay in that budget. Don't go crazy and overspend. You're going to find that's going to grow over time. If all you want to do is spend a few dollars here or there, great. Just spend the few bucks. Go for a cloud service. You can use something like Vultr, Azure, AWS, GCP. You can spend $5 a month, then that's what you get. And stick in that section. That way you're not overspending. And lastly, don't forget your noise and power consumption. If you've got a noisy server, roommate may not like that. Now, there are some things that you can do. I should circle back a little bit. There are fans that you can get and replace, and those fans are made by Noctura or Be Quiet. You can get those and replace those fans, but you're still going to have heavy power consumption in a server. So take that into consideration with your overall cost. If you don't have any space at all, then again, you might want to look at a cloud provider. If you don't want to use extra power or worry about noise, again, you might want to go to a cloud provider. There's nothing wrong with using cloud as your lab. So go ahead, get out there, start building your home lab. If you want it physical in your office, check out eBay, go to Amazon, go to all the various places where you can get some hardware, the Lab Gopher, etc. You can find some great things. You want a rack? Get yourself a rack. You can find them like what I did and get a StarTech rack off of Amazon. You can also find them on your surplus. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to find used hardware and racks and things. There's also a link down in the description from Tom Builds Stuff for a DIY server rack plans. That allows you to build your own customized server rack for very cheap, a very cost-effective way. And then you can keep all your equipment in that rack where it's separate and not making a huge mess. So again, get out there, let's start building our labs and get learning together. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know how we can do better, what subjects you want to learn from. Right now, I'm just doing these. I hope you're enjoying them and I hope you made it this far in the video. We'll see you next time.